Okay, folks, I'm just going to give you a really quick overview of kind of where to look in the Google Classroom for stuff as we continue with the offsite learning. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth for that. You'll need to kind of read the posts as they come or go into the agenda, but just a general idea of where you're looking for what stuff and where you can find it, okay? So the first things first, from the Google Classroom page, everything for offsite learning, unless I make a little announcement, will be under classwork, okay? So this is what every week pretty much is going to look like. Okay, these are scheduled to appear. For the most part, when they first appear, the flexes will appear throughout the week. So those won't be there on the first day, but as the day comes for flex, it will pop up in the Google Classroom. So I know this looks like a lot. That's just because all the flexes are there as well. Okay, the first place you should go when the week's material is posted is the agenda. Okay, so this is, I'm showing you for Science 20, but it will be the same for those of you in Physics 20 or Physics 30. Okay, so you can click into the agenda. This has everything that's in the Google Classroom. I like the agenda a little bit better because it allows you to kind of really organize by topic and think about, okay, this is what I should cover today. This is what I should cover the next day. So roughly one topic is what you should aim to tackle in one day. That would represent about 1 day's worth of learning, okay? So in here, we have our notes and text resources. Those will be the stuff you kind of want to have as you start, right? So we have geology notes, right? So like in this one, we have our geology notes. So you could click that, go there, and boom, there are the blank geology notes that you could use to follow along with. If you don't have access to a printer, that's okay. You could just kind of follow along on loose leaf as we go. Okay, but either way, there's the blank ones. And then there's also the filled in ones. So these are the ones I filled in as we go. Okay, you're not going to get everything from these, but if you're just kind of wanting to say, oh, I don't feel like going back in the video lesson and finding where he said this thing, I may have just kind of written it down here for you to go look at. Strategy I actually might really recommend to go with this is maybe try going through the completed notes, seeing how much you can pull straight from it that makes sense to you right away. And then as you hit stuff that you are thinking, I think I need a bigger explanation of this. This isn't really making sense through the notes. We'll then hop over to the video lesson and find that page in the video, and then you can hear me explain it a little bit more. Then we have our data booklet for physics. You have your formula sheet posted here, okay? There's the big ideas. So for Science 20, the big ideas are just kind of the main things for the week for each topic. What should you be able to answer at the end of that? Physics 20 and 30, I've used study physics for this because study physics really just very clearly, very concisely kind of summarizes the big ideas anyway, okay? Next, we have our video lessons. So again, about one topic per day is probably a good goal each day, okay? So there's a video lesson, so you would go to the video lesson, topic 1 video lesson, right? You can watch the video. Again, you can kind of skip through, kind of go ahead, say, okay, I just wanted to see this one part, or I don't need to see this example. I don't know how to do that. You don't necessarily need to sit there and watch from the beginning to the end, okay? They're a resource that's there for you if you need them, and if you're struggling with something, you can go find it in there and watch, okay? So sometimes there'll be a little supplementary video. That just means kind of a little extra if you want it, okay? You'll also find after each video lesson, I suggest which questions you could try, okay? So for Science 20, it looks a little different than physics, but it's the same idea. So for Science 20, I say while you watch this video or after watching, try these questions from the practice assignment. So you would go to the practice assignment. You could say, okay, Mr. Maxwell said after I watched topic 1, I tried topic 1 practice. Well, that makes sense, right? So that's the idea there, okay? And again, this is all just in the agenda. The agenda actually has everything to get you through the week. Formative work, so the practice problems, that's the thing you just saw. But for any formative work, this goes for science and for physics, okay? The solutions will always be posted as well. So if you were kind of stuck on one of those questions, you'd say, oh, I don't know how to draw the focus versus the epicenter. Look at that. Focus is there, epicenter is there. I've given my solution there. The next thing for most weeks, your summative assessment, okay? So what you're actually going to be marked on during this offsite period, what's going to go into that Maplewood bin that's called offsite learning, are these Google Forms check-in, okay? So these are the summative assessments. They're Google Forms check-in. So you go in, it's just multiple choice. It's usually 10-ish questions, sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more. But I just want to show you guys, they're not huge. I don't want you to think these are massive assignments that you are nervous to approach, okay? Just try them out as you go. They're mostly multiple choice, usually kind of just the big ideas from the week. So those are what at the end of the week, if you're able to answer these questions, then you are keeping up with your learning responsibilities for the week. Okay, that's why they're called a check-in. It's checking in at the week to say, okay, I'm good. I've made it. It's like a checkpoint. Okay, for extra help, I just want to go through this quick. I'm always available by email. Okay, my email's there, jm5051@fmcsd. Okay, any time of day, whatever. I might not be able to answer you if it's the middle of the night, but I'll answer you as soon as I can. Send me an email with your question or your concern or whatever it might be. Okay, I want to show you this. You guys all have access to your own. So Science 20s, Physics 20s, and Physics 30s, all of your own. If you go into it, okay, you can type your question in here. You can edit this. You type your question in here. I will respond usually with a video, depending on the question. If it's something super small, I'll just type out an answer, okay? But you can check back later. You can see here, someone asked, could you help me with this? Here's my response. I even recorded a video for this one, okay? So you could click to that, watch me explaining this problem, okay? So flex schedule, those are gonna be through Google Meet. I'll just show you what that looks like really quick, okay? So here is my full flex schedule. You can find that there. It just tells you what times your class is booked in to always have it. Again, that leads me into the next point here. Okay, if you can't make it to one of those flex sessions where you can ask questions over video, just email me. We can set up a separate one. Okay, those are just meant to be times that everyone knows we can meet if we want. There are always flexibilities that can be made. Okay, you can even call me during school hours if you want. Okay, the only reason I say during school hours is I can't guarantee I'll be here outside of them, but usually I am anyway, to be honest. So call this number, okay, the Merck number, and then my extension is 5488, or you could just call and ask Miss Sloan or Miss Schmidt for Mr. Maxwell, okay? So like I said, the agenda is your one-stop shop for everything. I would say go there and you can just get through the whole week on the agenda alone. If you like, you can also, everything that's in the agenda is in the Google Classroom. It's just not as fleshed out. There is a little bit more information on the expectations because the agenda is supposed to be kind of kept slim. So there is a, like here, it kind of explains about the notes and what they are, okay? So there again, it's all just the same stuff that was in the agenda. It's not like this is different, okay? All the same video lessons. They're just not split up by topic as well, okay? Same formative work, all the extra help stuff here. And I'll just show you one last thing for how Flex kind of works, okay? So on Tuesday, April 28th at 12:50, this was posted, okay? So what you could do, you would have got the notification 10 minutes early, and then you can get ready, get your question, go in here, okay? This is what it will look like first. So you're not going to right away join. Oh, hey, okay. You're not going to right away join. You still have the option to, you're kind of in the waiting room. You'll be able to see if someone else was in here. If I was in there, it would say Mr. Maxwell is in the room, okay? So if you're uncomfortable being on camera, no worries. Turn off your camera, okay? If you don't want to even be heard, no worries. Turn off your microphone, okay? And then you can just click join now. Now you're actually in the room. I wouldn't hear you if you had yourself muted. So what's the point of doing this? Well, you can still ask questions. You can still go here and say something like, can you explain number 4 on the practice assignment? Okay, you could ask something like that. Boom, chat, sent. I will see that, and then I'll talk it out with you that way. Okay, so just wanted to show you what Flex actually looked like. So that's just a quick kind of visual tour of everything that's here. Again, all of this is in the agenda in a little more of an organized way, but it's all accessible here in the Google Classroom as well. I just post them both ways because some people like them one way, some people like them the other. I do suggest the agenda because see how nicely you say, okay, today I'm going to do topic 1. I'm going to watch the video lesson. It's even a checklist. So if you wanted, you could print it out and check them off as you go, okay? So just in quick summary, okay, what does a week look like for you during this offsite learning? Well, I will post this agenda with all of the week's worth of stuff in the Google Classroom, okay? In the agenda, you have all your notes filled in and blank that you'll need for the week, okay? The data booklet, anything like that. Then day to day, I say watch one video lesson, try some practice problems, okay? Watch one video lesson, try some practice problems. What actually needs to be done and handed in, okay? Just this check-in for the end of the week. Now, do some learning along the way, but ultimately what needs to be handed into me for you to be keeping up with your offsite, that check-in, right? Asking questions along the way to make sure you're understanding, but the check-in is what we're using to kind of as a checkpoint to say, okay, I got this week, right? If you can answer those questions, then you did the major learning outcomes for that week. All right, so let me know as you have questions or concerns. Please do come to Flex. Please ask questions, okay? And we all miss you.